Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So we're gonna wait on Kanaya. That was weird. So we're gonna wait on Kanaya to hop on. Hi.
Hello! Yay!
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous, girl. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It was so funny. This thing popped up on my phone. Did you get it
Mine
too?
too,
You
girl. And
got
I
it
was
too?
like, what's going on?
Like when we gotta stay at home, I thought we had a curfew. We ain't got a curfew no more. They trying to keep
I
us
don't,
home. What's going
girl. I
on?
thought this was an alert that we need to get out the house. That's why I was like, oh, hold on, girl. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
Good,
good.
good.
This year has been so exciting. It's been I see
Very,
it as kind of like a big learning experience of everything, and um, I'm just going with the flow, really.
it's all
Um,
you can do,
but
girl.
right, first off, I want to thank you for joining me on this live. And you're so you're such a sweetheart. I've known you for so long.
Long
But just
time.
tell the people, yeah, long time.
Okay.
Tell people about yourself.
Oh, perfect. Well, my name is Kanaya. I am from the Bay Area, originally born in at Stanford, California, but I basically say Fairfield Sassoon has been my home for the last couple of years. I went off to school in Las Vegas. I received a degree from communications from UNLV. And actually, literally the day before I was getting ready to graduate, I got my first really big position working for a tech company. So that's basically where I started my first kind of venture into the tech world, the tech industry, as well as news, because at the time the company was transitioning into the news markets and trying to be the number one market. So that was definitely a big
Okay.
introduction into just the career field itself, let alone being maybe one or two of the only people of minority in my company at that time.
That's big.
So that was very big, very monumental in my life. Stayed there for about, I stayed in Vegas for almost 6 years, close to 6 years. And then I moved back to California for some personal family reasons, but also to get back home. I don't know why I felt at that time. I was just like, I'm ready to get back home. And so home was where I came back to the Bay Area. And I was so blessed to kind of get a job kind of off a whim. It was beautiful how I got this position working for a company called AUL in Napa. And I handle all of their accounts, which is beautiful because it's getting me in a whole different market of the vehicle service industry, including accounting and learning business side of things. So, I mean, I've just been so
Wow.
blessed to kind of jump and not fall. And I give that because
Yeah.
I trusted him in the process. So,
Yes. That's
that is
amazing.
probably it's been an amazing journey. And then now this year I finally stepped out on faith, because for many years I've had multiple people say, Kanea, when are you going to get into hair, get into makeup, get into cosmetics, get into some type of beauty industry? And for a while it was like, no, I need to get this degree. I need to get myself invested into what's going on in the workforce. And now, since COVID has kind of made us all step back,
Yeah.
um, it was the perfect time. It was the perfect time to
Okay.
now walk into a whole new chapter of life and starting my own business. I do eyelashes. On top of that, I am currently selling custom mink eyelashes. My company is called Slay by K. My actual business page is Lash Slay by underscore K. And
I'll be sure to
I've been
have that.
able to. Oh yes, please, or anybody in here, if you know it, tag it, please. But it's been a blessing. I stepped out on faith. I consulted with maybe a few people prior to, and I said, let's do it. And ever since then, I have been trusting him. And you have been such a blessing to kind of open the pathway of me to just even have this conversation with you. So I really do appreciate it because you see something in me that I'm still looking for myself and I'm still
Right.
working to get there. So it's beautiful when others see what you may not see right now, they see it early on. And
Yeah.
so people like you, I have obviously other friends, family, mentors who have obviously stepped in and kind of seen that same thing in me, but now it is time to kind of walk in my power. So that's what we do.
Yeah. That is so amazing. And thank you for that. And I
Yeah.
definitely, I'm trying to remember when we first met. Do you remember?
Mm. I want to say I met through your cousin Rance. And I want to say
Okay.
it was like maybe it could have been at like a party, could have been
Yeah,
like
I'm thinking
because
of
back in the
the
day
shop
we was some
lifetimes.
fly girls. Yeah, back in the day we was living our best life, girl. So it could have
Right.
been we ended up at a party or something, and it was
Yeah,
almost like a
that makes
instant kind
sense.
of connection. It really was.
Yeah. And it's been cool because I remember like no matter how much time that passed, once we see each other, we just, it's just always been positive energy, positive vibes. And um, just hearing your story too, because, I lived in Vegas as well. And I remember you hitting me
Hmm.
up and was like, I'm moving out there. And then I was like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So it was like we kept missing each other. But at the same time, I feel like it was a lot of lessons learned, being in
Hmm.
that area and then coming back and wanting to be at home and feeling making a way or making a path for home as well. So that's really
Mm.
amazing. So let
Yeah.
me start with these questions, love.
Yes.
So what I've been doing is 10 questions for you. And it's just to kind of,
Okay.
it's it's for people to want to hear like not only just your story, but for those who are, this is a very interesting time that we live in right now. And I feel like it's very vital and very
Tell
important
me
to
about
let
it.
people know that, we all go through the same similar things, or if you are going through things, there's a way to kind of move forward and get yourself up, pull your bootstraps on, and keep going. So
Hmm.
my first question for you is, what is your when you first wake up in the morning, what is your spiritual routine? Like, what do you do to
Mm.
get the day start before, to get the day started, or what do you do?
Um, I think the first thing that I do is obviously give just God all the praises that that He felt it necessary for me to get up and work another day towards my purpose. I think that
Yeah,
is probably the first thing that even like resonates in my mind. But then also, too, I try and reflect on what my dreams were because I find that dreams are so powerful, especially the ones that we could barely remember a little bit about it, but something about them resonates somewhere in our lives. And I really try and kind of like, obviously get myself up out of that like grump mode, but like also just kind of
yeah,
finding that like what transpired and reflecting on that. And I mean, there's so many other things that I just wake up, kind of give myself that like, Kanaya, let's do it. It's another day. Let's make it happen. Despite how you feel, how you don't feel, it's that kind of like, I got to do it. I got to make it happen.
yeah,
Not just for me, but for the future means. To see like, hey, this is how this is what you paid for. This is why you went to college.
right.
This is why you got up. You went to college. You put your faith in God. You said, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. So this is why you're
And
in
you
this
got it
process of
done.
having to make it. Yeah, and you have to get up. You got to make it work. So that's kind of been my routine of like giving God His grace first, but then reflecting on what I've what may have been in my dreams, past or present, and then preparing myself for the day, washing teeth, brushing, wash your face, brush your
Yeah.
teeth.
I, I love how you said about the dreams too, because it's very important to understand your dreams and dream interpretation. Because it's usually, when it comes to dreams, it's usually your subconscious mind trying to tell you something. It's trying to give
Yeah,
you some sort of guidance of where you are already currently at. So I love how you're saying, you wake up and you try to remember, certain dreams that you have, which that's a pretty cool thing to do. And also
right.
giving, of course, giving grace to Almighty High, to God. That's beautiful. Um, 2020 has been an ultimate roller coaster throughout our lives and those around us. Um, it's just been so many changes.
Hmm.
So with those many changes that has happened in all of our lives, how do you adapt to change?
Mm. It's crazy because this question is like so powerful um, in itself. Because one thing that I've learned throughout this year that I think was a lesson that I knew would have to come to pass is that change in your life has to become a normalcy. You have to be able to look at change as it just being something that's always constant in your life. Not even looking at it as change, just accepting that things will have to evolve. You can't grow in the same spaces. So over this year, I mean, I lost both of my grandparents in the beginning of this year. Thank God not to COVID.
Oh,
But just, they were two lovers and they got old together, and life said, hey, you've already figured out your purpose. You've gotten it. You've received it. Now it's time to go on back home. And those two people were the monarchs in my family. And for me, that was like the start of the change because I had already lost my grandparents on my father's side, but this was my mother's side, which we lived closest to them. And so when they passed, it was like almost a light bulb in me that said, you have to make this a normalcy in your life. You have to be okay with people leaving you, with situations leaving you, with you adjusting to not allowing that constant feeling of like, oh God, I'm not prepared for this to
yeah,
be what you fear. And I think once I realized that like change is inevitable and this is going to be constant, I don't even look at it anymore as having to adapt. I look at it as just my life.
yes,
And I think that's the most beautiful part about this is that I look at it as now this is just my life. I want change now. Now I'm asking universe, God, give me the change
yes,
because I I know that there's growth behind it and I want that growth. Before I don't know if I was ready for it, nor did I really ask for it. Now I'm asking for it and I'm receiving abundance of
mm,
growth, abundance of maturity, abundance of blessings, things that weren't even on my list, girl.
yes,
So that's why I say adapting is no longer a thing anymore. If anybody hasn't realized, 2020 should already show you that adapting now is normalcy. It's
right.
being accepting change as being constant in your life.
Yeah, it's the change is the law of life, and
Yeah,
if you accept it and kind of you surrender to it, then
yeah.
all those new things will abundantly flow for you. That is positive, and that gets you on the right path. So that's a beautiful thing to
Hmm.
accept the change and move forward with it. There's a lot of people that can't accept it and they're still in a standstill. So being able to do that
Exactly.
is definitely a blessing. Um, three, name
And can I add
three.
one thing on there though?
Yeah, of course.
I was going to say, and you know what, too? It's about timing, divine timing,
Yeah,
because I find that we are so concerned about things happening when we want them to happen. And if they did happen when we wanted them to happen, we would not appreciate them as we do when they come so natural in our lives. So that's why I feel like this change process, we have to embrace it and we have to accept that timing will bring everything that we want into our lives. And that's how I had to
agree.
look at it with my business. Like timing, I can't do it any faster than what he's prepared for me. And I need to know that it's my time. So I'm asking the questions. I'm talking to the
Oh,
universe, God.
good.
I'm talking to other mentors, people like you who've kind of gone down those similar paths to inquire, when is it my time? And
Right.
hey, it came. It
Yeah.
came.
And building and creating yourself, it is up like in the comments, it's God's time. Yeah. At the same time, you still have to continue to build, create, and mold yourself, and especially knowing your God-given purpose, and you're not you're out here to do something. Um, don't stand still on it,
Yes, yes,
and continue to build and create and learn more piece by piece, and eventually it's just going to flow, and God's going to give you the right tools you need in order for you to be successful, because
I agree.
you're on the right path, you are doing the right things, and everything just flows abundantly. So that's beautiful. So for my third one, name three people who inspire you. This could be family member, friend, or even famous people, whatever. Name three. I have a thing with
Mm.
my threes. So name three that
Wow, and
inspire you.
three is hard, because I have had so many people who have stepped in my pathway to help me, um, to guide me actually where I needed to move and how I needed to maneuver.
Right.
Um, but
You can
the
even
people
say,
that,
oh, go ahead. Go
uh,
ahead, guys.
um, but the people that I feel like that have inspired me, that I have been able to see an example of, is always will say my grandmother, I will say my mother, and I will say my best friend. And it's because all three of them have had a story, and
Mm,
their story is so powerful. Not only because they're women and girl power and all that, but because their story has so much depth to them, because it's limitless. My grandmother told me when I went off to college how proud she was, because she never got that opportunity to have an apartment, to live on her own, to pay her own bills, to be that
right.
woman that she wanted to be. But because at those times it was like you get married, you have kids, the man is the one supporting you, and so she never knew how much she got to miss out on life.
Yeah.
And on top of that, my mother's story is so powerful because she is a woman who does not see a limit. My mom is, she's getting older, and now she has started her own business in coaching. And
Okay.
when I tell you, my mother went back to school, in her early 60s. She's gone, she's taken so many different classes. She's been keynote speaking. I mean, she motivates me to see that there is power behind what you do, but also do not limit yourself by age, by anywhere that you are just sitting at
Right.
right now. Continue to evolve and grow. And my best friend, since I met her in high school, and I'll just go brief on the story. I met her in high school. This was back in the days where you would have CDs, and we was, exchanging CDs back then on the bus. And I remember I had a CD and I kept it all year long. And she had been wanting a CD. This was her favorite CD. And so she ended up coming to my house with her cousin on her little scooter, saying, "Girl, can I get my CD back?" Looking like she was ready to get mad at me and beat me up or something. But it was at that point, I knew that that was my friend. That was my girl.
Yeah.
She was so just like, she's gung ho on what she believes in, but not only that, that like she doesn't let her excuse me, stop her from moving forward in life. She told me about the story of her losing her mother and her father, very, very tragic stories, but she's, and her sister, I'm sorry, and they, just the fact that she has lost, but still been able to move forward, she
Mhm.
shows me that it does not matter your circumstances. You have to trust what God does in your season. And we may never know why God took two of the most powerful people out of her life, but the fact that she was still able to find determination, to still find
Mhm.
joy and
Yeah.
happiness, those are the things that we look for in life just to really complete us. And she
Yeah.
found it so early on. And so I have always mirrored a lot of how she is, her strength. And all three of those women have showed me nothing but strength. And
Mm.
that is why I now at this stage in my life where I know my power, I know my worth, and I'm not
Yes.
allowing anybody or anyone to deter me of what that is or deter me from where my path is meant to be. And so, um, those three women,
That's
they are God's angels
also
to me.
to also have that uh those people around you, to have that support system. And I know
Yeah.
you mentioned your grandma passed, but to be have that piece of her still in you, so
Mm-hmm.
instilled in you, and to be able to have that inspiration. So whenever you do have doubt or any of that, you know who to call. You have your circle,
Mm-hmm.
you have your people that it's going to be able to push you forward and get you to where you need to be. And that,
Exactly.
yeah, thanks for sharing that. My next question is, what is something you've learned being a newly entrepreneur that you would like to share, especially to the
Mm-hmm.
ones who are considering of taking that step and becoming an entrepreneur themselves?
Don't get lazy. Don't get lazy. Um, you know why I say that? It's because the first 2 months I was like
I'm
on a
sorry, love.
cloud. I'm
You're
like, oh, sorry, did I break up on you?
okay. Let's try that.
Did you get me? Okay, you got me.
I got you, boo.
Okay.
Let's try that again.
Um, no, I was gonna say, I said don't get lazy because the first 2 months of my business, just being brand new and all the beautiful sales and support I was getting, I was like on go mode. I was like, okay, I got to get this out. I got to get this out. I got to do this. Got to do that. Got to. And then it was like after those 2 months, then I started. Well, okay, I can kind of like I'm getting the hang of it a little bit now. But then in that space, I was also like, you can't get the hang of it yet because you haven't even reached the pivotal moments. You're still sitting in a, you're kind of still sitting in the waiting room. I always think of my business like my baby. So I look at Slay
Yeah,
by K as my baby. I'm birthing it. And I cannot get lazy how I treat my body. I cannot get lazy how I treat my mind. I cannot get lazy when it comes to how I want my business to go and thrive. And I can't let it just be okay with where it is. I have to
right.
have that mindset that it can go beyond what I believe it is right now. It doesn't just have to stay at just Kanea's little pastime to do. It could be
Yes,
something that creates generational wealth in my family. And that has always been my goal about my business is really to create the generational wealth. I know that my grandparents tried to do it. I know that, my mom and my father are trying to do it, but I know that it is something that we all have to kind of create for ourselves. We all got to put something in the pot.
right.
And I tell everybody, don't get lazy because the best is around the corner. You just have to keep staying consistent and also network. I think that's the one thing that I feel like I'm learning more about how I have to be influential in my networking because that is really where your support is going to come from. Don't get me wrong, friends and family are always going to be supportive. They're your friends and family, and you hope they have your back. Now, I don't know about everybody's family, but you know, they're supportive, but really your goal here is to be able to touch those who don't even know you, your strangers, the people
Exactly.
who are like, wow, I want this product, but I just don't want to have to keep buying it from all these mainstream artists, retailers, etc. I want to do it for someone who's trying to come up in the world. And so I tell people, don't get lazy because you're going to meet strangers along the way who are going to support your product. You're going to meet some strangers along who may be like, that's not for me, but that's okay. Keep going, keep pushing.
Mhm. Yeah, and yeah, consistency is definitely very, very important because you want to continue to push forward because if you just be on a standstill, and then the lazy part too, because there'll be times where
Mm.
I procrastinate. I'm like,
Girl,
and then I had to whip myself out of it. Like, hold up, these bills ain't gonna pay to buy themselves. So not only
girl,
that, but it's just like you said, this is my baby, and when it comes to my vision, when it comes to my businesses, they're my baby too. So it's like I
yeah.
need to make sure that I continue to perfect it and not be lazy and not procrastinate and not to sit down and to get up and keep moving. And I remember you also you mentioned that you said mind and body, like your health. Your health is your wealth as well. So keeping your body going and moving, your mindset, your spirituality too, making sure that you know you're praying and being consistent on that as well. So yeah, that's pretty dope. So my next question is, give me 3 of your motivational songs that gives you the energy you need to keep moving.
Girl, you know that's my part. Okay, so the first song, and this is just because if you know me, you know me. I am in love with Anita Baker, and when she sings Angel, that is my ultimate song of all time. And she has a part in the song where it's like you can almost feel her soul when she talks about just how much you mean to me. Like she just want like I just want to let you know how much I mean. Like that is so powerful in itself. And so
Right.
that song motivates me to find love in everything that I do every day.
Yes.
Like you have to find love. And that I'm repeating it because that's so powerful. Finding angels come in.
Hold on. My service is acting up and going on with the service.
That song is so powerful to me. On top of that, Guapale, Closer, every
Hold
time.
on, Kanaya.
I mean, even got me. You're looking good to me on my end.
I use probably, I don't want to blast out my phone carrier, but I'm all
It's all
right.
good, girl.
We back rolling. We back rolling now.
Okay, okay, so Closer by Guapale is like
Yes.
such a powerful song. And when it first came out, I remember that being like the song to like close out the night at the club. That was the song. Like if you were in the Bay Area and you heard that song, that was the song. You was like, you heard that beat hit, and so it had my dreams. How close are you
Oh, what's going on with my?
to be in life? And for me, I'm like, that's my jam. That's my jam. That's a song I can listen when I'm zenning out, when I'm just cleaning. Girl, I could be going out somewhere and I can still just put that song on it. It just puts me in the best mood. So that's
That's
my second
beautiful.
one.
And it's a Bay Area
My
song.
and it's Bay Area. Um, and then my third one is like my going out with my girls. 99 to 2000. And you know what? I grew think I have to think about what era I grew up in, and so I love a song that makes me feel. I love a song.
You there?
You got me back? Am I okay?
Yeah, I
Sorry,
got
I
you
don't know what
back.
happened. But I love a song that like gets me all going, gets me excited about whatever my day is getting ready to be. Like just gets brings back those memories that I remember when the song used to come on. And you know, I'm a hot girl. I'm the original, probably the old back with the OGs.
So wait, I
Well, I
didn't
don't
get
know if
the
I'm
third
OG.
song. The third. I
Oh,
didn't get the third
hot
song.
girl,
Okay.
but not
That
by
yeah.
Megan.
I
No,
thought
no,
it was
no,
gonna be
no, no.
juvenile back that ass up. So.
No, a girl. I thought about it, but I need a hot girl.
Yeah. But with
It
both of
just
those,
takes me
when the
back
beat
to
drop, it's alright.
girl. It does, and it takes me back. It takes me back. So, and I've had so many fun memories just living life. So, yeah, that's definitely those are my three on the list.
Okay. So for the next question, what are 3 things you cannot live without? And this could be people, this could be
Mm.
places, this could be things. What are 3 items that you cannot live without?
Mm. Well, one thing I cannot live without is I never told this story, but so back when I was right before I was getting ready to head off to college, I was diagnosed with being a type 1.5 diabetic. And that was like a super traumatic situation just because I I felt something was wrong with my body at the time, but I couldn't determine what it was. And so I say making sure that I have my medication is important for me.
Mhm.
Being someone who's an advocate for making sure that you take care of your body is important to me. And it is something that I feel like, I don't want to say God gave it to me, but I knew that there was some responsibility that was needed to be take action at that point in time in life. And I know that there is faith behind why he did what he did. And so obviously, I'm an advocate, I'm a speaker, and I think it's important for me to, carry that with me 24/7, just not even so that I have to necessarily have to take it every hour on the hour, but just making sure that
Right.
I'm managing my body, my health, those are really important things to me. On top of that, now that I'm a businesswoman, I feel like it is so important now for me to have my phone on me. Just because there is like so many random calls I may get, emails, and I have to stay in tune with things. I used to be a person who wanted to be disconnected, and now it's like I have to connect, um, to tune in with things and to kind of social media is all we have now, really, in this
Yeah.
pandemic. So I'm learning that this is like my device, my livelihood to help me be successful in where I'm trying to go. And so that's
Right.
definitely something that I do not leave behind. And if need be, hey, I'll do Apple Pay. I can leave the wallet at the house and do Apple Pay.
Right.
um, and my third thing, oh gosh, my third thing that I just do not leave the house with, my mask. Girl, we're trying to stay
Oh
warm
yeah.
everywhere at this point. So I'm gonna be honest with the people and say I do not forget my mask. I have walked into one or two stores and I had to turn around and be like, "Oop, I don't have my mask
Yeah.
on." So now that is like it's like my secondhand thing that I bring with me.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, those are really good. Tell me an inspirational quote that you live by. This could be a quote
Mm.
from a person or just something that you say to yourself for motivation. What is your life quote?
My life quote is the best is yet to come. And my father has
Ooh.
told me that for many years. He has told me that in moments where I have felt like I don't know what's going to happen next. He has told me that quote in moments where I am like feeling like, wow, it can't get any better than this. That quote itself is so powerful because I think my dad told me actually the other night, he's like, yeah, my dad used to tell me that.
Right.
And it's so powerful because it means that don't just sit in a space where you are so excited about what is already happening that you forget that there is something greater along the way.
Mm.
And that is like the one quote that I tell everybody, even during this holiday season with my company and we have meetings, I make sure to let all the ladies know the best is yet to come. Do not be fearful in this moment. I know that there's a lot of things going on in the world. Know that the best is yet to come. And so that fills my spirit. Not only do I feel connected to the universe and God when I speak that, but I feel connected to myself
Mm.
and sure and secure in myself that this is only a point in time and that greater is on the way.
Yes, that is beautiful. Yeah, I could definitely see that. And I love that quote too. The best is yet to come. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
this may be even when we crush goals and become successful in things, there's still more work to be done. So
Right.
there's still always going to be something that you can continue to do. So once you do celebrate, get back to work on this on continuing to grow.
Yes.
um, so my next question for you is, when you feel off balance, when you feel just not aligned, what do you do? What is your routine um,
Mm.
or any kind of spiritual practices you do to get yourself realigned and going?
Whew. Um, well, I'm gonna first say, um, I believe that prayer, and not even prayer in a way where we, have to go like this. I'm talking about that conversation. Um, Sometimes I will get in a headspace where I am overthinking something, and I'm like, I don't know. It's making me almost feel crazy. And I get to that space where I have to talk to him. I have to say, okay, God, please remove whatever is in my space that is not giving me clarity. I ask that you give me clarity in the moments where I find myself confused. I'm in no rush, but in your time, please let me know what I need to know so I can move forward. And having that conversation is like the most humbling thing that you can do, because it's saying, like, listen, I can't do this by myself, and I need you to give me some guidance here. Also, I have learned the power of grounding, and I actually experienced it with one of my friends. He kind of, during this pandemic, although we are not able to be physically together, I told him what was going on with me. He's like, all right, let me show you how to ground yourself. And so he gave me a great tool, which was, okay, get in your room, you're in your room space, close your eyes. What do you see in your room? Just imagine all those things in your room. Then once you've done that, now turn around, walk outside, walk outside of your room, get yourself in a space where you could just be calm and rest in it. Now remember all those things that were in that room. And for me, and then he said, what do you remember? What do you remember? What was sitting in that space, in your head space, that now it's like it's nothing. It's almost like it now falls to the waistline. It kind of brought, when he taught me that experience, it kind of brought me back to reality that we put a lot of emphasis on things we can't change.
Mm,
And
that's real.
we do, and we
Hmm.
almost psych ourselves out before anything's even begun, And so by grounding yourself, by having that conversation with yourself, with God, with the universe, whomever, just to kind of get it out of your headspace, that
Mm,
for me gives me the calm that I need to continue to move forward, to not sit in that space of like, oh, because I could do that.
yeah,
Everybody could do it. I mean, but it's just like,
yeah. We
what's
have
that
our
going to
moments.
change?
It ain't gonna change
Exactly.
anything. It's still gonna be the same.
Exactly.
It's gonna be
Exactly.
exactly the
Exactly.
same. And I love that
Exactly.
too. That practice.
Yes.
Looking at a room, not just your bedroom, but looking at a space, and
Hmm.
walking away from it, and it's still that whole thing
It's
is still gonna
right.
be in the same place it was when you left it. Like
Hmm.
that. Yeah. Preach on now, sister. Preach on. So my next question is this. So as you know, I've had my vision board parties for the past 3 years. This would have been my fourth annual, but due to
No.
COVID, unfortunately, that didn't work. But it
Oh
also opened the
no.
door for me to create these live interviews with my people and my tribe. The people that came to the vision board parties and created a vision board for themselves. So I would love to
Right.
know if any of the vision, anything from your vision board,
Mm.
what have you've accomplished? What goals have you crushed? Anything that you're still working on? Because vision boards, I'm still working on my vision. I create one every year, but I'm still working on one that I had 2 years ago. So it does take time for your vision. So let me know, what have you accomplished since our last vision board party?
Um. Well, I'll first say Slay by K has been my biggest one that I've actually been able to physically see manifest, and that was one I have put it on there from the first vision board party I went. I always put it on there. I wanted to be my own businesswoman. I wanted to be a businesswoman. So every little clipping I would find would have something in regards to work hard, play hard, businesswoman, entrepreneurial boss, whatever it was. And I would make sure to put other people that I believe are bosses. So I would find clippings of maybe Oprah or Beyonce or, you know, whoever I really enjoy and kind of have watched the experience, I put them on my board. And so the fact that I was able to manifest my business is like one of the most powerful ones. But then on top of that, I have I'm a college, well, been out of college for a while now, but I wanted to pay off my college debt. I thought that was like such an important part of me being able to really move into another chapter of life. And so I kept putting on there, I want to pay off my debt. I want to pay off my debt. And this year I was finally able to close out that chapter and pay off my debt. So I'm
Yay!
really happy about that. That makes ah, it's like the
That's a
weight lifted off of
relief,
me.
right? And that's a beautiful thing to
Yes.
be able to do.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that, you know, this was able to guide,
No, you're good, girl.
but to help guide you in a sense and be able to help you with your vision. So I am truly grateful for that. And I'm really excited for you and happy for you from all the goals you have accomplished and the goals that you do plan to, that you will accomplish in the near future. So I'm excited for that. So my last thing, I'm big on affirmations. So I wanted to give you
Hmm.
3 affirmations because you know my number is 3. Um, so what I'm going to do is tell you, I know I'm crazy. What I'm going to do is tell you some words and then I just want you to fill in the blank, okay? So the first
Okay.
one is I am. I am.
Mm. I am powerful.
Mm. I believe. I believe.
Anything is possible.
I believe anything is possible. And I am prepared.
Mm.
I am prepared.
Oh boy, I am prepared for the next chapter.
All
And
right.
so the next chapter is obviously growing Slay by K. Obviously my IG lash slay by underscore K. I look forward to growing that. Also, too, I look forward to networking more, doing
Yeah,
more of these lives. I'm really appreciative of the space that you opened up for me to come back and talk and
of
just to kind of share
course.
my story. Just a little piece of it, but it definitely is a big piece and a big step for me because people have been asking me for the longest, when are you going to go live? When are you going to talk? When are you going to? And so this is like such a open space that I feel like I'm so grateful for. And I'm appreciative of the experience that I was able to see from you because little did you know I was trailing behind your path. When you went off to
Oh,
when you went to
thank
Vegas,
you.
I was following behind you.
Yeah.
And you know, when you came back, I was coming back too. And when you started your business, you made me believe that I could start mine. And that is why it is so powerful for young kings and
Oh,
queens to support each other, to use these platforms that we have to continue to grow each other because there is no competition. There is no
none.
competition here.
We all
This
can
is
make
all
it.
love. This is all
Yes.
love, and we can all make it. We can all support each other. And the thing about it, too, is that let's live in the moments. Let's live in the moments and the spaces that we're in now and
Yeah,
appreciate those like yourself who open up the pathways. And now I have to return the favor. Maybe it may be for you, it may be for someone else, but now that is my goal, is now to return the favor and open up and
pay it
extend the chapter
forward.
out to someone else who has a new business or something of the sort. So I'm just appreciative. I thank you so much. I have a little gift that I'm going to make sure to get your information to send you.
Okay.
It's some exclusive products, and it is some
Oh,
things that I'm getting ready to
wow.
drop for next year that I'm really
Okay.
excited about that I've been working on. So I just want to give you a little
Oh,
token and a
thank you,
little thank you.
Queen.
So
Oh, thank you so much. So, so much. And I really appreciate you too. And just, you know, keep thriving and keep growing and glowing. You're beautiful and all
Thank
inside
you.
and out. You've always had an amazing spirit. So I'm just grateful to still be having a connection with you. And I just can't wait to see. I'm so juiced. When I found out, I was like, oh, you know, you got your business going. This was a goal that you wanted to crush, and you crushed it. And now it's only up and up from here. And there's definitely going to be, of course, roadblocks. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road. But I just love your positive mindset on the whole thing. It's just beautiful, and keep that up, love. Thank you so
Will
much. Thank
do.
you so much for being part of this. And we definitely will be connecting and doing this again soon. All right.
Perfect.
Thanks for
Alrighty. Well,
everyone
have a good
on
one.
live. I appreciate y'all.
Thank
And
you.
all her
Thank you.
information will be commented, but will be on the caption below once this is uploaded.
Okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.